Welcome to the Get Unbusy podcast. I'm your host, Kate Philpott, and this podcast is all about throwing your busy work out the window. You deserve to stay locked in on the parts of your business that light a fire under your hoo-ha, all right? The passion-driven freedom lifestyle, not being glued to your laptop every waking minute of the day. It's time to build a business that works for you, not one that works you into the ground. So, let's get unbusy, shall we? Hello and welcome back to the Get Unbusy podcast. This is going to be quite the different episode. It's going to be a little bit more raw, to be honest, because I'm directly, tapping into and leaning on a situation that I'm currently going to in order to extract the lessons both for myself and for you. So basically, we're going to talk about how to do what you got to do when you're going through some difficult personal shit. This is one of those things, isn't it? Because in business, if you have shit going wrong in your personal life, you still got to show up. It's the same in a job. If you've got shit going on in your personal life, you still got to show up. The thing in business, though, is we can sometimes just be like, oh, well, there isn't a boss who is looking down my shoulder like, where's that report? Where's that XYZ? Have you done this yet? Have you done that yet? So it is easier to give ourselves that bit more space. And I'll also say that these insights are very much happening in real time for me because I am going through a personal difficult situation. And I am going to give the context on that. So those of you who know me know that I have the cutest little dog. Her name is Sandy. She just turned 15 at the end of October. And she just turned 15 at the end of October. So there's quite the laundry list of things that are going wrong in her adorable little body. And unfortunately, we had some bad news about little Sandy last week as I'm recording this. So, and as you're hearing this, actually. So, today is the 1st of December as I'm recording this. It's a Monday. So, last Wednesday, I went over to Sandy and I was like giving her a little kiss on the head and like snuggling in. And then I was like, did she fart? And it turns out she actually had soiled herself, but she didn't even know. And I was like, oh, that's concerning because we have had quite a few issues with her. Like, she can't get through the night a lot of times because she needs to poop so bad. And like, her bowels just haven't been functioning on all cylinders for quite some time. Also, she has become very, very skinny. Like her spine is like sticking out. The groomer won't even groom her properly, like won't shave her because he's like, if I shave her, she is going to look like a skeleton. There's none of her there. Obviously we've been trying to feed her more and more or like a little and often and stuff like that, but her stomach just can't take it. And so my mum took her to the vet last week and the vet was like, no. It looks like Sandy's at the end of her life and her organs are failing. And if you hold off, which most people hold off for too long, the next step is renal failure. So her kidneys would fail and that would be extremely painful for her and very uncomfortable. And she was like, most people wait too long and then they have an emergency situation and not everyone is around or something really painful or uncomfortable happens to the dog and it's not fair on them. So she was like, look, it's time. Soon. I can't actually believe that I'm telling this story and not crying. I feel like I had this absurd wave of emotions the past few days. And right now I feel like I'm speaking about it very clinically, but I don't know if that's like a self-preservation thing, but I will say this is the moment I have dreaded for the past 15 years of my life, ever since I met Sandy on the 28th of December, 2010. 2010? Yeah, 2010. So yeah, she was saying, look, this side of Christmas is probably your best bet. Well, that was a shock a total shock. And obviously the family, we've been talking about it, and we were like, we would love to get Christmas with her. We're going to go back to the vet. I want to talk to the vet this week too. So I'm going to get a chance to have a conversation with her on Friday. And maybe she just needs to talk some sense into me, because I am in total denial. I cannot believe this is happening. And I feel like I'm rejecting the reality of it. I'm like, but she's fine. I think I know deep down in my heart she's not fine, but yeah, it is quite an interesting thing to try and wrap your head around. So, obviously, with things like this going on, and like, I have never lost anybody as close to me as Sandy. She is a member of the family. It's literally, the gravity of this is as big as me losing my mom, my brother, my dad, anyone that's anyone that close to me, my partner. Like, yeah. So it's that level. So, I'm very much in it right now. And I also know that I probably have a month ish left with my little dog. That really puts shit into perspective of like what is worth my time and what's not. I'm like, what do you mean I'm gonna do fucking admin? Ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm spending time with my dog. What do you mean I'm going to this party with people I don't care about? No, I'm spending time with my dog. Like, with all due respect. Like, so that leads me into the insights. Now, obviously, like I said, this is very fresh. It's very raw. I'm still in it. So these are the insights, like, as I'm wading through the mud, rather than coming out the other side and being like, this is what I would have done better, or like, this is how I would have XYZ. I feel like sometimes it is really beneficial to hear about like how a person would, it's just like bringing intention in the moment, because it's all very well and good me going through this situation and learning lessons out the other side of it that could have helped me during it, or it could have helped you right in the middle of it when you still have the heaviness of the thing that's happening. Like, when you're out the other side and you're feeling good and like the situation has gone away, you do have a different energy and a different mindset, and it's just easier to take on the lessons. So I'm gonna go straight into the insights. This is very all over. I don't have notes for this episode, right? I have like 3 things I want to share with you, from a productivity point of view. That is like, here's how I'm gonna make sure that I get my shit done without firstly falling to pieces on my client calls, or secondly being depressed, or third, or being more depressed than like the situation is making me, or thirdly not giving myself the space to experience either the feelings or the more time with Sandy. So that leads me nicely into my first insight, really, which is to feel your feelings. There are gonna be heavy, painful feelings that are gonna come up for me over the next month or two, or however long, both before, during, and after this situation happens. Like, the feelings are big. They're big feelings. If I don't allow myself to feel those, that is going to get repressed, and that is not going to be okay for what gets projected out of me. So I'm very much on the side of the coin that's like, if you gotta cry, just fucking cry. Like, we're all humans. We all understand, like, sometimes you gotta cry. I have cried every day for the past like 3 days. I haven't cried yet today, and it's like 3:30 p.m. So I guess that's pretty good, but I'm actually just feeling very disconnected from the reality of it. Also, at the same time, my brother, his partner, and my nephew are staying with us at the moment, so there actually has been quite a lot of joy in my day. Because like my nephew, you know. But yeah, feel your feelings. I honestly don't have a ton to say there, but in order to feel your feelings, that leads me on to the next one, which is having enough bonus time. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is one of the things that even in general in productivity people don't do enough, and that's actually calendarizing in the bonus time. And when I say bonus time, I mean flex time, extra time, buffer around your tasks and stuff like that. Why? Because sometimes things take you longer than you expect that they will. For example, if you have a task that you think is going to take you like an hour and a half, what if it takes you 3 hours? Is that going to throw off your entire day, or are you just not going to get it done? And is it okay if it doesn't get done? And is that going to stress you out? So, like, give yourself enough time to actually get it done, even if it kind of dribbles over. So, getting things done. The second thing is like sometimes unexpected work actually comes up. Like, a client requires more of you, or your boss gets you to do an extra thing that you weren't expecting. Like, these things can happen, right? So in this context right now, it's like, hey, when you've got those big feelings and those things that you've got to feel through and allow yourself to feel, don't you dare deprive yourself of the space and time around yourself to actually feel that. You kind of need time to feel that, whether it is just sitting and having a cry or journaling about it or whatever way you process your feelings best. That requires time. For example, when I got this news last week, I was sitting and chatting with my mom for like an hour and a half and just sitting with Sandy and just being with Sandy. I also had 2 very bad nights of sleep where I just woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, I don't want to be in my bed without Sandy right now. I'm going down to her. So like I was with her on the couch. Which obviously made me more tired, which made me slower during the day, which obviously meant you're going to need more time around the things. So when I say calendarize in your bonus time, I mean actually have blocks of time, like placeholders in your calendar that are like bonus, flex. I like to call it bonus time because that is just like nice phrasing. But like it's literally extra time that exists on your calendar, because if you just have blank space there, white space, that you could very well be looking at that and be like, I'm going to put this other thing in there. I'm going to squeeze more in. And that's when you get on the side of productivity. That's like, how do I have the most productive week? I'm going to squeeze as much as possible into this week as I can. And then you look at the week, and then the week is literally like, I must be on speed to get through this week and get all of this stuff done. Guess what? We're human beings. We don't really work like that. So building in placeholder blocks for bonus time is one of the best things that you can do for your productivity, especially if you're going through a difficult time and you've got personal shit to go to feel through and that you're going through. Okay. Last thing I want to share here is, yes, I'm saying to feel your feelings, and then you're going to compartmentalize. I've heard people say that this isn't healthy. I'm sorry, this is the healthy way to me. What is the alternative? You just sit and cry for 2 months? Like, nobody is saying that has got to be the most productive month of your life. Nobody is saying that you're not allowed to feel your feelings either. And no one's saying it needs to be the most successful month of your life, although, hey, it might be. But release the pressure. The compartmentalizing part, what I mean is, I'll use myself as an example here. I've got like 30 one-to-one clients, and that means I have like 15 one-to-one calls a week because they have calls every second week. So am I just going to cancel all of my calls for the next month? Obviously not. Like, I can't do that. So, but then am I going to arrive to my calls and like cry at my clients or be all depressed with them or like tell my sad sub story to everybody I come in contact with? No, because like that's not helpful to me or to them. It might be helpful to me with the first 1 or 2 people to like get things off my chest, but like, am I going to say that to 15 people in a week? No, because they're on their journey. They got their own shit they're dealing with. They don't need me to be like trauma dumping on them. So honestly, this is a really healthy thing to be able to do, is like, okay, I had my cry today. I've got calls starting in an hour. I'm going to put my makeup on, a fresh set of makeup, or, a fresh face of makeup on if I cried it all off. And I'm going to get on my big girl boots and I'm going to do the thing anyway, because that is just life, especially when you're in business and the business relies on you showing up in your best energy. Is this going to be your best energy? Maybe not, but that's why we feel our feelings. That's why we journal it out. That's why we get like do what we can to process whatever it is that we got to process. But then you're going to get on that call and you're going to focus completely on the client. Or maybe it's nothing to do with client calls. You're going to go into that 2-hour deep work block and you're going to completely focus on whatever it is, mapping out that next launch and making it the biggest launch you've ever had. Energy isn't created or destroyed. It can't be created or destroyed. It's only transferred. So what if you used your, honestly, like sad, angry, guilty energy about the situation you're struggling with and channel it into something that could actually create something cool for you or for your business or for your clients? You can only do that if you allow that door to open. And even as I say that, I have resistance in saying that because I'm like, are you going to think that I'm not allowing you to feel your feelings? And that's why I started with the feel your feelings part. Feel your feelings and then compartmentalize, right? But on the flip side of that, and this is the other thing I wanted to say about it, in heavy situations like this, people do understand. And I want you to lean on that in every sense of the word. People will be more willing to give you leeway. People will be more willing to do you favors. People will be more willing to respect firmer boundaries. Lean on that. Lean on that. If ever you were going to need to pull out some favors, now is the time. That is okay. That is not a sign of weakness. That's a fucking sign of strength, because you're like, hey, putting my hands up here, can't do all of this with all of these heavy feelings that I got right now, or going through this thing. Or, you know, what if it's like a family member who like you have to take to the hospital regularly, or there's like, there can be really fucking heavy stuff that goes on. So I want you to allow yourself to be on both sides. And again, without the pressure. You're going to do your best to channel that energy into whatever it is that you're doing in the best way that you can. And also make peace with the fact that it might not be your best work. That it doesn't have to be the most successful or productive week or day or month. It's okay. But it's still a much more productive and healthy way of living, and a productive and healthy way of getting yourself through a situation than lying on the couch for 2 months and crying about it. Like, you can do that in the mornings, but then like channel this energy in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? There's a balance there that actually you are allowed to be both. You are allowed to have both. So it's a shame that I even have a situation as heartbreaking as this, that I felt the need to talk about it. And I genuinely thought I would have cried in this. But I think that's honestly, isn't the first stage of grief denial? I have to look that up. Yeah, it is denial. Well, I'm very much in denial because I think the vet is crazy. I think everyone around me who says that Sandy's not okay is crazy. But maybe I'm just so in the weeds of the day-to-day care that it's just not clear to me at all. Because I'm like, what do you mean? She's fine. But here we are. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to this episode. Hopefully, I will come back next week and it will be a much lighter conversation. And I actually do have quite a few juicy episodes lined up for you this month, and it's going to be wonderful, okay? I promise. Okay. Have a great week. I will chat to you very soon. Bye. All right, gorgeous. That's a wrap on today's episode of the Get Unbusy podcast. If you got some juicy golden nuggets from this episode, I want to hear about it. So take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at More to Life Kate, because your girl wants to know. And remember, you're an absolute powerhouse. You can create the life you've been dreaming of, and I can't wait to see you pop off. Chat to you soon. Bye.